Alexander is standing in the Castle of the Crown's treasure room. The soft-toned room seems very secure. Along the walls are trunks and caskets, probably full of the kingdom's treasure. In the middle of the room is a low table.
Covered with a cloth.
Graceful urns adorn the cool treasure room. Decorative shields and spears made of gold hang on the treasure room walls. Those trunks probably contain the kingdom's treasure, once guarded so well and used so wisely by King Caliphim,
Pronunciation?
now in the hands of that blackguard Alhazred.
Blackguard, okay. Maybe that is legit how that word is pronounced.
A gracefully curled trumpet hangs on the wall.
That looks suspicious. Can I have it?
Alas, the trumpet won't bring these walls tumbling down, and thus is of little use to Alexander.
Damn it.
Alexander doesn't need the urns.
What about a spear and a shield?
Alexander doesn't need the gold shield and spears. Besides, the soft gold wouldn't stand up well in a real battle.
True.
Those trunks probably contain the kingdom's treasure, once guarded. Alexander has no wish to steal from the treasury of the land of the Green Isles. It might be under the Wazir's control now, but it still belongs to the people.
And very shortly, it will belong to me. Alright, so what's under here? It's going to be something dreadful, I know.
Alexander pulls the drapery aside, curious as to what might lie underneath.
2 bodies? Oh, it's the treasures. Those are the treasures that were stolen from the various islands, and that's why they're feuding with one another.
On the table is a fleece made of gold.
Yep.
That fleece must belong to the Winged Ones, and they thought the Isle of Wonder had taken it.
On the table is a coat of arms with the head of a beast on the crest.
Beast said that his coat of arms was stolen by the Druids. This must be it.
On the table is a miniature oak tree. It looks very old.
Stolen from the Druids?
That must be the sacred miniature oak that the Druids thought the Winged Ones stole.
I don't remember that.
On the table is a strange-looking stone that's giving off an odd, high-pitched noise.
But it's got to be from the Isle of Wonder?
That must be the Isle of Wonder's singing stone. Didn't the queens think that the beast had stolen it?
As Alexander looks at the objects on the table, he realizes the depth of the Wazir's cunning. It must have been the Wazir or an accomplice who stole that one thing most precious to each island, and then leaked rumors that one of the other islands was responsible.
What did the Wazir have to gain by causing the islands to hate one another?
Yeah, I'm a little uncertain on that myself, apart from, just general bullfuckery, destabilization, that sort of thing.
Alexander decides to leave the singing stone here in the treasure room for safekeeping, until it can be returned to the Isle of Wonder.
I'm assuming we're not getting anything out of here.
Alexander decides to leave the golden fleece here in the treasure room for safekeeping, until it can be returned to the Winged Ones.
Other than, just the knowledge that the Vizier is evil, but we already knew that.
Alexander decides to leave Beast's coat of arms here in the treasure room, until it can be returned to its owner. Alexander decides to leave the miniature oak here in the treasure room for safekeeping, until it can be returned to the Druids.
Right, I don't think we're getting anything out of here, so let's just leave. We're actually safe inside that room because no one else apart from the Vizier knows how to open that door.
Uh-oh, a guard. Hey!
Dang. Wait, I can run? No. I thought I still had the cursor. Let's hide in there for a moment.
Alexander hears the guard dog leave the basement.
Curious. We did not get a prompt that there was a guard dog in the north corridor. So I would love to go into this room here, but I can't.
The door on... There's a door.
There's got to be something inside there, but I do not know how to access it in a safe way. Maybe I can come back down once the music starts.
Alexander.
That was actually a new message. Apologies. Alexander opens the secret passage. I go up. Bit of an unusual animation there.
Phew, that was a climb. Alexander hears the faint sound of a woman crying nearby.
Yeah, that was a bit of an unusual animation there. We've climbed up 2 floors and this is Casima's room. Casima's room is above the guard room.
Alexander peers through the chinks in the wall, trying to locate the source of the crying sounds.
We're going to see Casima.
Alexander's palms begin to sweat and his heart to race. It's Casima. He's found her.
Psst! Princess Casima.
What? Who's there?
It is I, Alexander. I'm here behind this wall.
My, how suave that sounds.
Alexander? It really is you. Oh, I knew you were close by, but how did you get inside the castle walls?
It's a long story.
It's a long story and not important now. You did get my ring.
Oh, yes. It has brought me such comfort, Alexander, to know you were close by and had not forgotten. But you shouldn't be here. You're only endangering yourself.
I don't care about the danger. I would brave anything to learn.
What is it?
Alhazred, do you want to wed him, Casima?
She probably doesn't even know.
Oh, please believe me when I say that I never agreed to marry that man. Even when my father trusted Abdul absolutely. I never liked him. But with mother and father gone, I'm afraid there's no stopping him.
Okay, so something was planned.
If you do not wish to marry him, Casima, you shall not. I promise you. Only come with me now, and we shall escape.
The wall?
How? I cannot fit through this wall. Besides, do you think I could leave my kingdom, my people, in Abdul's hands?
Great response.
But Abdul would tear the castle apart if I were to disappear from my room. You shall have to do what you can to delay his plans from your end.
I can't just leave you here.
Alexander, do not despair for me. I have been safe in this room for nearly 6 months now.
Jesus.
Abdul can be in no hurry, whatever he plans. After all, I'm to be his bride, am I not? I have been planning too, you see. I believe I can escape. If I can only get a chance to lay my hands on a weapon, there might be an opportunity in the hustle of the wedding.
But
Shh, just a moment more, then you must go. Let us not waste time with words. Please, let me just look at you, dear Alexander.
It's been 5 minutes, dude. She's as bad as he is, Christ. So she knows that she's getting hitched. She does not know about the plan to just cut her out of the wedding ceremony entirely. That the vizier is going to marry the genie.
Alexander looks with longing at the fair Casima. She's even more beautiful than he remembered.
But she's been imprisoned in this room for 6 months. That's fucked.
here, take this dagger. It's not much, but it might come in handy.
Why, it's perfect. This is just the sort of thing I've been looking for. Thank you, Alexander. I'll keep it close and use it if I must.
So downstairs we had proof of the vizier's treachery. We don't actually have that here. Do we have anything we can hand over? The key, maybe?
I have this key. It will work on any lock. Perhaps you could use it to escape.
I'm afraid my door is locked from the outside. A key wouldn't do me much good.
That's good. For me, that is. It means I don't lose the key. Can I give you the ribbon and the note that you wrote me?
Casima sent that ribbon to Alexander. It would be rude to return a token of a lady's affection.
Sure.
Oh no! Someone's coming!
The lock on Casima's door rattles abruptly.
Alexander, hurry! Step away before they see you!
No, you need to move away from the wall. We're safe here.
Alexander hears scuffling and a woman's brief cry from the other side of the wall. Then, silence.
Have they removed her from the room?
Alexander looks through the chinks in the wall, anxious to see what the commotion was about. Cosima is gone. Where could they have taken her? How could he have let them take her?
A fine rescuer I'm turning out to be.
Very easily, dude. There is a brick wall in the way, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, can I go out here?
Alexander sees... I
assume not.
Alexander looks through... But alas, Cosima is still gone.
That was actually a new sentence here.
Alexander looks through the chinks in the wall to see if Cosima might have returned to her room. But
I don't suppose I can use a scythe or something to break in.
there's no reason to use that on the wall. There's no
We can give her the dagger. She wants it to see us though, and I feel like I've missed something in that conversation. But I don't have any options up there except for look. What else can I give her? A poem?
Cosima wrote that note for Alexander, and she doesn't need to read it again.
Not the poem, sorry, the notes. Can I give her anything useful? The lamp, maybe?
Although Alexander would gladly offer Cosima all that he owns, that item would be of little help to her now.
I mean, he doesn't even know that that's a genie's lamp. We as a player know that. I don't think we have anything else of value here. The door is locked from the outside, so the key is no good. There's so little time here. It's probably related to me turning up the game speed. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can give her. But so little time. What about the magic map? Okay, so she's going to get abducted out of this room.
Alexander hears scuffling.
For the first time in 6 months, which is a hell of a coincidence. And presumably she's been taken down into the dungeons.
The old walls are dirty and show the neglect of a forgotten place. A rickety staircase leads down to the basement landing of the secret passage. Alexander is standing in a secret passage of the Castle of the Crown.
Oh.
The landing is dusty and the walls are deteriorating. To the west is an exit to a hallway. A staircase to the north leads down to the basement landing.
I didn't even see that door.
On the west wall is an exit to a hallway.
Did not see it until I examined the stairs. Right, so where does that lead? There was a door up in the upstairs area of the castle that we couldn't access on the right-hand side. But I can't imagine that looking onto Cosima's room. That would take us out to the door near where we picked up the Zebu word. Okay, never mind. I've got no idea where I'm going.
The old walls are dirty and show the neglect of a forgotten place. Alexander is standing in a secret passage of the Castle of the Crown. The hallway is dusty and the walls are deteriorating.
I'm surprised we've got no music in here.
Alexander hears the sound of scratching coming from the other side of the wall.
Where the hell am I?
Alexander looks through the chink in the wall.
Vizier's room? No.
Dear Shadrach, salutations from the Society of the Black Cloak, etc., etc. My long preparations are about to come to fruition.
Just writing that name down, Shadrach.
In a matter of minutes, I will wed the lovely Cosima. Once I've established my power and my crown, I can stage another accident.
Death of the princess, very clearly.
The princess has proven infuriatingly stubborn, as you know. She's becoming quite a dangerous little thorn in my side.
Really? You've kept her locked up in her room for 6 months. What can she do inside there?
It is a shame I have to kill her. She is lovely and would be amusing to keep around, but I can't risk her talking treason to one of the guards. So far I've managed to keep her locked away, but I can't continue that forever. Well, on to it now. I'd send her to you, but as you know, I had no luck in doing so with Mordak. I close in triumph. King Abdul al-Hazred.
No, we've got plans of our own, dude.
I think it's about time to see if Shamir has taken care of the wench as I asked. It's almost time for the wedding.
Hopefully she's down in the dungeons. And I'm going the wrong way for that, but...
The Wazir's words fill Alexander with blazing anger and fear for Cosima's life.
That blackguard! That murderous swine! He'll not have his way if I have anything to say about it.
Yeah. The Vizier's a bit of a prick. Hopefully Cosima's down in the dungeon and I can just get down there by retracing my steps.
The old walls are dirty and show the neglect of a forgotten place.
Right, so that's a secret door there. That's going to take us into the Vizier's room.
There's a vague outline of what appears to be a door on the wall.
Or, because I don't recall seeing that table in the Vizier's room. I think that was the genie's room that we were looking at.
Alexander sees lots of black cloaks.
Yeah, we're in the closet. Yep.
The trunk is locked.
Right, so that's how we can get the knowledge of Zebu so that we can open the armory downstairs. Armory, treasury, whatever.
Alexander inserts the skeleton key in the trunk's lock and turns it. He hears a click. Alexander opens the trunk.
And I'm fully aware that this is not where you find Zebu, but it's right next to it. Whatever.
Alexander picks up the most recent letter and examines it. The letter is addressed to Abdul al-Hazred from the wizard Shadrach. It reads, it looks like there's
That...
Apologies, did not mean to skip that first one, but that's exactly the same as what we saw previously.
Alexander. The brush, finding. Inside the ebony box is a piece of
Yeah, we sequence broke that.
a fire in a large.
Right, I don't believe I can go outside here, can I? Because it's likely that this area is patrolled.
A door. There's a keyhole in the door. Alexander peers through the keyhole.
We're going to see a bunch of guard dogs? Yep. They're just going to pace back and forth the entire time, and there's a painting behind there. Which may or may not have trolled me heavily earlier in the series. Yeah, we're not getting outside here.
Alexander steps into the main hallway while the guards are headed south on their patrol.
Hey, who the...
So we've got Cosima's room there,
Don't just...
the genie's room there. That's where the Vizier just wrote the letter.
Alexander crawls back through the wardrobe to reach the secret passage.
I wonder if the Vizier knows about this secret passage. I'm guessing not.
Alexander looks through the chink in the wall.
It's a shame we can't access this room.
The Wazir's study is now empty.
Can I get in there? I've got to check, right? I've got to check if I can get in there.
A door. There's a...
They walk left and then they come back right quickly. Is there a window here?
Alexander steps confidently out into the upstairs hallway and sees two guard dogs.
Hey, don't just...
I'm going to take that as a no. Right, so my next thought is let's go down to the dungeon and let's see if we can have a chat to Cosima. I assume that's where they've put her. Maybe she'll give us a piece of information that will let us deal with Jolo. That's all I can think of right now.
Three. Alexander.
She's not in here.
Alexander does. Since the door.
I've already been in here, come on.
Listen, door.
It worked.
She's not stored inside the treasure room.
Alexander, oh no, it's wedding music.
I missed that.
Alexander hears a door of...
Okay.
The wedding music has begun. Alexander doesn't want to get trapped inside the dungeon now.
Let me load that very quickly. Apologies for missing it. I'm clicking through a lot of things accidentally here.
Alexander...
So the wedding starts, but we can still move around. I'm hoping when the wedding music starts, we get a little bit more autonomy over this place. Maybe we can check out the guard room, which... No, we're not going to get in there. It didn't render the inside of that guard room. So maybe we can check out Jollo's room. Come on, dude. Maybe we can go upstairs. I'm hoping something will happen. Right now, though, I really want to check out Jollo's room.
Alexander... Alexander open. Alexander...
So she's not in the dungeon, and she is not in the treasury.
From the East Hall, Alexander hears the sounds of a door.
Okay, so upstairs is guarded.
Alexander hears...
Okay, guard dog is left.
Since the...
I think I might have to go into the treasury to trigger that particular sequence of events.
Listen.
It worked.
Right.
Alexander hears the sound of music coming from the east. It sounds somewhat classical, but... Oh no, it's wedding music. Alexander hears a door off the north hall open. Then, the sound of guard dog footsteps. The footsteps are headed this way.
Right, so we need to go in there to trigger the wedding. And now we've got a guard dog coming after us. I have to go this way, I think. I can't go inside the dungeon. Alexander doesn't want to.
Alexander hears the sound of a guard's footsteps coming from the north.
Can I not get inside Jollo's room?
Wait, there are more footsteps approaching from the west. Now what?
Captured?
The wedding music has begun. Alexander doesn't want to get trapped in a bedroom now.
No, we need to get captured and then release ourselves and then check out that room.
Alexander looks cautiously around the grand hall, but there are no guard dogs to be seen. The wedding music is coming from behind those two large doors.
No choice. I haven't dealt with Jollo though, so that makes me think I've done something wrong or missed some points.
Prince Alexander, here. The Vizier will have my head for allowing you within a mile of the royal wedding. Since you are of noble birth, I will give you 5 seconds to explain your presence here before killing you. I warn you, it had better be good.
Have a read of this, dude.
Wait. If you love your princess, you'll hear me out. The Vizier is not what he appears to be. Cosima is in terrible danger. I have proof that this is so. For your princess's sake, you must believe me.
Let me see that.
Saladin reads the letter, his sword point still against Alexander's throat. Alexander watches the guard dog's noble face darken with rage.
This is treason. I'll have his throat. But how do I know this letter is not a forgery? You could have written this yourself.
But I did not. Have you no doubts of your own about Ahazred? Don't you see? All he wants is the crown. Cosima is being coerced. We must stop the wedding.
It is true. I have had my suspicions about the Vizier, especially when King Califim and Queen Alaria died. But I have seen Cosima with him several times. She appears to be quite happy, even enthusiastic. I don't believe she could love him if he truly were so wicked.
I cannot believe for a moment that she loves that snake.
A jilted lover would not believe it. But come, see for yourself.
We do not have the mirror.
The captain of the guard leads Alexander into the throne room, where a ceremony seems to be in progress. Alexander feels his blood run cold at the sight.
I, Cassima, declare Abdul al-Hazred as my lawful and beloved husband and king of this realm.
But, Cassima, what are you saying?
Do you still claim that the princess is being forced? Perhaps it's you that's the danger, as the Wazir has said.
Hopefully I've not missed anything with Jolo. Let me take a look around here because I don't believe I did that. Oh my god, I can't spell. I don't believe I did that on the main ending.
Alexander is standing in a magnificent throne room, finer than any he's ever seen. Unfortunately, he's not in the mood to enjoy it, because at this very moment, Cassima is about to marry Al-Hazred.
Finer than Daventry's throne room.
The funny little man from the bookshop is here. Alexander assumes he must have a position in the castle, and is here serving as a witness, like the guard dogs. Several guard dogs are witnessing the marriage of their princess and their liege. Saladin watches Alexander carefully, waiting for him to make a move and prove that Cassima is not wedding the Wazir of her own free will. Several guard dogs, that scheming blackguard Al-Hazred, Wazir of this realm, is in the process of marrying Cassima and securing a place as king of the land of the Green Isles. Alexander can't believe his eyes as he looks at Cassima. Could she possibly mean to wed Al-Hazred? Is she out of her mind?
It's a good disguise.
If you refuse to defend yourself, you must have faked the letter.
We've seen that.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
She loves me?
I'm certain that Cassima cannot mean what she's saying.
So you say. I would advise you to prove it, if you can, and quickly.
But we don't have the mirror.
Alexander doesn't have time.
Hold, villain. You shall not marry the princess.
Prince Alexander here? This is an outrage! How dare you allow this traitor to get past you, Saladin? You stupid mutt! Can't you even keep the castle free of assassins during your own princess's wedding? Kill him! Kill him now!
Lord Al-Hazred, with all due respect, you are not quite king yet. And this is a wedding ceremony, not an execution.
What? How dare you contradict me, you flea-bitten mongrel! I gave a direct order. Obey me, or feel my wrath.
Milady, I apologize for my behavior, but I am yours to command in all things. I wanted merely to hear your own wishes from your own lips. Tell me what it is that you wish me to do with this young man, and I will obey.
Why, Captain, you heard my dear Abdul. If he wishes this atrocious young man's death, then I want nothing more than to see him get his wish. Obey thy liege now and always.
As you wish, princess.
Just as Saladin prepares to run Alexander through with his sword, a shout is heard from the direction of the Grand Hall.
Good timing.
Hold! In the name of the true king!
King Caliphim and Queen Ilaria burst into the throne room, looking alive and well and full of wrath. Behind them, a line of supporters look prepared to battle, if necessary, for their beloved royal couple.
Vengeful spirits.
Cassima, darling, are you all right? Has he hurt you?
Hands off of her, you murderous goat!
If I want your advice, I'll ask for it, Mother.
But, Caliphim, that's not Cassima. I'd know my daughter anywhere.
What have you done with our daughter, you devil?
The lovely image of Cassima suddenly bursts into smoke, and is replaced by the Wazir's genie.
They saw through it instantly.
Why, you conniving serpent!
Get him, guards! Saladin, your sword! Drat it all! You may have ruined my plans, but you won't get me, or your precious Casima. Get them, Shamir! I command you! He's getting away! Stop him!
Yes, sire, as soon as I deal with this genie.
Right, is there anything different we can do here? I'm not sure.
No one is likely to listen to Alexander during all the commotion. Alexander can't stop to comfort the king and queen now. He has to find Casima. Shamir, the Wazir's genie, begins to throw balls of dazzling light at the guard dogs. Alexander doesn't have time to deal with the genie now. Alhazred has left the throne room and may be on his way to the real Casima.
Oh, of course, she's up there. She's up there, she's not in the dungeons at all. I'm a moron. Thus, you already knew that.
Saladin is busy battling the magic-wielding genie.
Really?
Alexander can't help the guard dogs in their battle against the genie. The Wazir is getting away.
I think this might be the same. We're going up the tower.
Alexander, be careful. Alhazred has a sword.
Shut up, wench! Shamir Shamazel! Get in here!
Here I am, master.
It's about time, you bumbling fool! How could you let him follow me?
Well, there were the guard dogs, master, and then...
Never mind! Just kill him! Kill him now!
As you wish, master. Razzle, dazzle, snap and snazzle.
Can I do anything with the lamp? I imagine that's either something that I've missed on earlier in the playthrough, possibly in the castle, possibly in Jolo's room. But the fact that we picked this up and we've done nothing with it is disturbing me.
That's not the genie's lamp, and the genie would know that immediately.
What about you?
That's not. That would serve no... Alexander sees no use for... Alexander would gladly give Casima all...
No. And it's too late now.
Look what I have here, my friend. Peppermint. Nice, fresh peppermint. Razzle, dazzle.
Forget the stupid peppermint. Don't you dare even think about it.
Mint.
Oh no, not now! Do something! Shamir Shamazel! Kill him!
Send a small... a ball of... light to frazzle.
Dazzle Ball goes wild.
Oh.
Exactly the same.
You killed my genie. You idiot! Don't you know how valuable he was, you fool? I'll kill you myself for that outrage.
So shall it be, Alhazred. I'm ready.
Alright, fine.
Inspiration. Alexander fixes upon the only weapon in sight.
Zounds! This sword must weigh a ton.
Good. Then you shall only fail sooner, my prince. So, the mouse would bite?
This mouse shall bite, as you shall soon see. Or should I say, soon feel?
Ha! You can barely lift that sword, my Prince. Better to lay it down now. I promise to dispatch you with little pain.
A tempting offer. But I think I'll wait and see what this sword can do.
Suit yourself.
I think this will end in the same way. I don't know if we're going to get through that door or not. But obviously the parents are around. So far though, this is all identical.
Alexander's arms start to tremble under the effort of wielding the huge sword. His muscles are nearing exhaustion.
Ha! And so it ends.
Not if I can help it, you murderer!
Cosima thrusts the small dagger into Alhazred's shoulder with all her might.
Ah! You dare raise a finger to me? You will regret that, princess.
In this ending, she mentioned wanting to use the dagger in the hustle of the wedding, so she was not aware of the plan at all to replace her with the genie.
Alexander sees no...
I gotta be exact with that click.
Cosima! Are you all right?
I'm fine, Alexander. I was just so afraid for you.
There's no need to fear anymore, Princess.
Yes, I know. How can I ever repay you? For myself, for my kingdom.
It was not in me to let harm come to you. Can you find it in you, Princess, to give me more than your gratitude?
Alexander, what are you saying?
I love you, Cosima. Would you ever consider... Do you think you could... marry me?
Could you ever have doubted it, my prince?
Once again, 5 minutes. That's all it took.
Oh! Guards!
Princess Cosima, are you well?
I'm quite well, thank you. Please take Abdul and put him in the dungeon. See to it that he gets a doctor.
Yes, Majesty.
Do Mummy and Daddy come up here? And also, does that mean that Mummy and Daddy are going to remain King and Queen, or will they abdicate? I've got to imagine it's the latter, surely. They're supposed to be dead.
Cosima and Alexander ask Captain Saladin to perform their wedding ceremony. Saladin is honored to do so.
On this historical day of great joy in the land of the Green Isles, we witness the union of Cosima, beloved princess of this realm, and Alexander, Prince of Daventry. Do you, Prince Alexander of Daventry, take Princess Cosima to be your wife, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And do you, Princess Cosima of the land of the Green Isles, take Prince Alexander to be your husband, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you have a ring?
I have Alexander's royal insignia ring.
Very good. Please place the ring on Cosima's finger. Who gives this bride to be wed?
Her mother and I willingly give our daughter's hand in wedlock.
Since the groom has no family present, I will speak on his behalf. Alexander, your union with this woman is sanctioned and recognized in the eyes of the community.
Thank you, Saladin.
Then, Alexander and Cosima, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
No change so far.
Congratulations, my children. I have an important question for you both. Please hear me.
Okay, here we
Yes,
go.
sire?
Alexander, I welcome you into our family with open arms. I place trust in Alhazred because I so badly wanted a son and a husband for my beloved daughter. I was wrong. But you are true and good, Alexander. You have proven yourself to all my people.
Thank you, sire.
Olaria and I have been through much. Even though we have returned to our kingdom, I do not think we are able to reign again. Will you two consider the crown? I know as king and queen, you can heal this small kingdom from all the damage that Alhazred has inflicted upon it.
Oh, Father.
Why, I'm honored. What do you think, Cosima?
I love my homeland, Alexander. I would be happy to stay and serve it all my days.
What does
I
Ilaria
wish
think?
my father were here so that I could ask his advice. I will miss him, and my mother and sister, and Daventry. But I love you, Cosima, and I do feel at home here. Somehow, this land and I seem to suit each other. I don't know what kind of king I'll make, but I accept.
Oh, Alexander, I'm so glad. Between the return of my beloved parents and our new reign, you've made me so happy.
That's different.
I'm glad I could make up for some of your suffering, my beautiful wife.
King Alexander, there is a long road ahead. The ferry must be repaired before we can reunite the islands. Your road will be easier now that the islands are no longer feuding. Already the wounds are starting to heal.
Yes, my love.
Yeah.
Discovering the island's stolen treasures has done more to bring peace to this land than anything else. It is now clear that Alhazred had Shamir steal each of the island's most valued treasures, then blame the thefts on others to cause the islands to hate each other.
Now let us celebrate our good fortune. The evil that has plagued this land is done, and a new reign begins. Long live King Alexander and Queen Cosima.
Long live King Alexander! Long live Queen Cosima! Long live the land of the Green Isles! Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
But why did we need the lamp? We'll find out shortly, I guess. Thank you for playing, and thank you for watching. But we're not quite done. Because we need to talk about this song in the background. I didn't want to, but we have to do it. Oh my god, this is going to get me flagged on YouTube. I know that for a fact. So the GOG version actually doesn't come with this. This was part of the CD version. For whatever reason, the default GOG version doesn't come with it. You need to download a file and then put it in the folder and it magically works. Oh my god. So this is Girl in the Tower by Mark Siebert, one of the audio designers for King's Quest and other games with Sierra. And it's hilarious. If you go back to the very first video I did for King's Quest VI, the very first thing I did once we got to gameplay was that I went into the menu and I said, okay, first of all, it's not here. Don't ask me for it. And that's because in the floppy version that came out before the CD version, there was a little button in there that you could push that would play a 10-second sample of this song. It's like, oh, okay, that's weird and random. And then it comes up with a nice text box saying, you've just heard a sample of Girl in the Tower. And then it says, and honestly, this is fucking hilarious, if you'd like to hear the entire song, please contact your local radio station and request it. Refer to the station directory included in your game box for call letters and phone numbers of participating stations. Yeah, they wanted you to call into your local radio station to request this song. And I don't know the full story behind this, but I believe it was part of a ploy to try and push this up in the charts, to try and drum up interest in Sierra's work, King's Quest VI, whatever have you. And yeah, it went down like a fucking lead balloon. It definitely did not work the way they intended it to, and I think it actually pissed off quite a few people as well. If you've also seen it, late in the Space Quest 6 playthrough, there's actually a part where this song plays, and I muted that because I didn't want to get flagged for it. Plus as well, I thought it would be funny to mute it and listen to it when we actually get to King's Quest 6. Yeah, there it is in the credits there. You don't get the option in the menu, you just get the full song in the credits. But it was missing from the original ending, but I've restored it here. 217 out of 231 points, 93% of the main path puzzles. We hope you'll play again. Yeah. Oh god, shut this song up, please. It's going to kick me out to DOS in a sec. So what I'll do is I'll replay this, I'll figure out where the missing points are, and I'll talk through my final thoughts. I can't keep a straight face with that song. Back in a sec. Alright, post-game playthrough is done. Firstly, and most importantly, I was missing 14 points. I have found all 14 of them at the end of this playthrough, so you'll see all 231 points at the end. That said, I don't actually know how I got them all. Looking at all the guides, I know where 13 of the 14 points are. I'm not sure if the additional points has come about due to perhaps something that I missed during my saves and loads, or whatever else, but I could not find it, and basically I just played normally. I did the additional things that I needed to do, and that gave me the full 231. And that's what I'd like to show off now. As I suspected, they all have to do with Jollo, and they all have to do with the lamp. The first time we can meet Jollo is after we've had the discussion with the ferryman and learned about the magic map. We can come back into the bookstore here, and we can have a chat to him.
Good day again. How may I help you?
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess.
I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers.
He does not want to talk to us, but what we have to do is press the issue and show him the royal ring. I did mention that as a possibility in one of the later videos, but I didn't have the ring with me, so I couldn't try it. But this totally works.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cosima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
why, by a ship now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cosima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but The Wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and have been since the marriage of Casima's parents, King Caliphim and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Casima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Casima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Casima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later.
Thank you for speaking with me, Jalo. I hope we meet again soon.
Yeah, that works because Casima told him about Prince Alexander before she was locked up. My thoughts during the main playthrough were that speaking to him would get him in trouble, and that we could show him the ring, but at that point I'd already lost it, either by giving it to the pawnbroker for the map, or by giving the ring to Casima via her nightingale Sing Sing. But just speaking to Jolo there, we get a lot of information. He tells us who he is, he tells us why Casima is allegedly locked up, he tells us that we can speak again later in the game, which we absolutely will do, and he also plants the seed that we can talk to Casima via the nightingale. Speaking to him there is worth 4 points, and we're not actually going to get any more points until we get into the castle. So everything that you see between then and now is basically new stuff that showed up in the post-game playthrough, but it's not worth any points.
The items on the front.
Alexander looks at the nightingale.
Hello, little...
We can speak to Jolo again once we've done a circuit of the other islands, and he'll have some new information for us.
Jalo, how fare you? And what news have you from the castle?
Prince Alex, how I fare is close to boiling. Have you seen the wedding proclamations around the village? I've heard rumors of the wedding, of course, but I didn't want to believe it, and I never thought it would be so soon.
Casima. Married. Oh, it is an unpleasant thing to swallow, friend. If only I knew Casima wished it. Tell me about the Wazir, Jalo.
The Wazir? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul al-Hazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliphim had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Al-Hazred became Wazir.
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Casima ever since she was a young girl. And she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Wazir is capable of anything. And Casima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Casima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. I must return to the castle, Prince Alex, and you to your wanderings. May we both fare well.
There's no gameplay hints in there, but that is basically more information about Al-Hazred and the arrangements that he came to the kingdom 15 years ago. And he's been up to no good, and Jolo does not trust him whatsoever. Now, the Nightingale, I did figure out on the main playthrough that ideally to get the maximum number of points and to prevent the Nightingale from disappearing, we need to give the items in a certain order. We need to do the ring, then the poem, and then the rose. And you'll see me do the same very shortly here. But just like the main playthrough, where if we give a certain item first, the text changes to say, I've already given the Nightingale the poem, now I'm giving the Nightingale the ring, or vice versa. It's very flexible in that the text changed. And I was so excited to see that the game does actually recognize that we spoke to Jollo, because his name is going to show up in the text box here. Check this out.
Alexander holds out his insignia ring to the Nightingale, hoping she perhaps is the Nightingale that Jollo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the ring to Cosima. The ring is the one thing he has that might alert Cosima to his presence on the Isles.
It's a completely different dialogue box.
The Nightingale swoops down and grabs the ring.
And we're alerting Cosima that we are here.
She flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Cosima.
Sing Sing, what have you got in your mouth, my pretty? A gold ring? Sing Sing, where did you get this? Realm of Daventry. But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul, he must be here. Sing Sing, I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here then, on this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you. Take this ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
Yeah, it's completely different. And the craziest part about it is I don't think what we saw in the main game was some kind of fail state behavior or anything like that.
The little bird makes a delivery.
Because what we did is we handed over the items, we had to leave the screen, come back, and we didn't get that message about the bird making a delivery. It was something completely different.
It's a red velvet hair ribbon. Could it be? Could it possibly belong to Cosima herself?
Another thing that I missed, there are two hairs that you can use in the magic spell. You have Beauty's hair in her clothes, but you've also got this black hair inside the ribbon.
A long strand of black hair is caught in the ribbon. Alexander examines the red ribbon and finds a strand of long black hair. The strand of hair from the red ribbon is the color of midnight. Alexander can only hope that it belongs to his true love. The strand of black hair is thick and still bears a trace of perfume.
You can only take one hair per playthrough. The other one will not be available. It just won't appear.
From a book in the bookshop.
That's the same message there, so I'll talk over it. As to why this CG is showing up, I can only assume it's happening because we spoke to Jollo, which is crazy. It makes the whole, I'll talk about it later, but it makes everything seem so much less creepy.
The Nightingale swoops down, grabs the love poem, and takes it towards the castle.
Sing Sing, my sweet, you bring another present. Let me see. It is a poem, Sing Sing.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight, I cannot live without the sight of you.
Oh, Alexander. I was hoping he'd return to you. Take this to him while he waits. Hurry, my fleet one.
The little bird makes a delivery. the nightingale has dropped a bit of paper on the ground.
I'll mention it again towards the end of this video, but it's kind of crazy that we can give the items in a different order. I didn't test that on this particular post-game playthrough, but I have no clue what would happen if we gave the love poem first, and then the rose, without giving the ring. Would we get that CG, and would Cosima be a little bit creeped out by us? I have no idea, and it's not something that I've checked out on this playthrough, but I assume these options exist. From there, the game proceeds pretty normally. We can speak to Jollo a third time once we've done the catacombs. I think at this point, I'd been to the Isle of the Beast and I was infected with lycanthropy or COVID-19 or however you pronounce it. So we can come back in here and speak to him a third and final time.
Jollo, my friend, is the wedding still moving forward at the castle?
Prince Alex, egads, yes, that confounded wedding has a whole castle a-bustle. Look, I didn't come here to talk about that, though. I came to warn you.
Warn me? About what? Isn't the wedding bad enough?
No, listen. The Wazir knows that you're here, Alexander. He's posted extra guards, and he's telling them about a foreign saboteur. Who else could he mean but you? The Wazir's genie must have learned of your presence in the land, Prince Alex. I don't know how, but he must have.
I haven't exactly been discreet, I'm afraid.
Alexander, this is serious. Alhazred will never let you get close to Cosima now. He doubled the castle guard, probably to make sure you keep out. Gadzooks! Oh, it's too bad there isn't some way to convince Alhazred that you've left the islands or even died. If he thought you were out of the way, you might be able to get close enough to...
What an interesting thought. Tell me more about this genie.
The genie's name is Shamir Shamazel. Alhazred brought Shamir with him when he came to this kingdom. Shamir probably won't directly threaten you, but that doesn't mean he isn't dangerous. He can be a terrible trickster and an ingenious spy. It's too bad we can't get our hands on Shamir's lamp. If we had that lamp, Alhazred and all of our problems would be solved. Wouldn't that be a fine thing?
You would wish to be master of such a wicked creature?
Oh, Shamir isn't necessarily evil. Genies never are, you know. They only reflect their owner's heart, for good or ill. Alhazred is hardly a shining example for an impressionable genie.
So how do you propose we go about getting Shamir's lamp?
What? Oh, Prince Alex, I was only dreaming. I mean, the lamp is heavily guarded. It would be easier to steal Alhazred's own trousers while he's wearing them than it would be to get that lamp.
But surely a clown's hands are quick and agile.
Well, yes, they are, as a matter of fact. But then the theft would be detected almost immediately. And then... my poor neck.
If the theft were detected.
Oh, I see. Yes, well, there might be a slim chance, but only that. If you could find a replica of the genie's lamp, an exact replica, I might be able to make the swap. I alone might get close enough, but I couldn't tell you what to look for. I caught a glimpse of it only once. I would know it if I saw it again, but to say I cannot.
Well, I'll just have to see what I can do.
Good luck to you then, Prince Alex. I really must be going back to the castle. I don't think I'll be able to come back here. If we were spied on, well, it's too high a risk. I hope you understand. If I see Cosima, I'll tell her I saw you. If you do ever make it to the castle, look me up. And do be careful, friend.
I will. Goodbye, Jollo. Thanks for all your help.
And that's where we say farewell to Jollo. We're not going to see him again until the castle. There's a lot there. There's a lot of just general lore things about the game, but he also gives us the idea of perhaps faking our own death in front of a genie, and he also gives us the idea of swapping the lamp. Well, Alexander kind of pushes him towards that direction, but that is clearly something that we can do towards the end of the game. If we can find the right lamp, which we find by breaking the fourth wall and seeing what it is in a cutscene, then it's something we can potentially do later on. The genie, though, we learn here that he's potentially not chaotic evil. He's just a very, very naughty boy. As I mentioned earlier, the hair that we get out of Beauty's old clothes is not present because we removed Cosima's hair from the ribbon. You can only get one hair per playthrough to put into the Hunter's Lamp to cast the magic spell.
Alexander searches through Beauty's clothes, but finds nothing.
Finally, I held off giving the rose to Sing Sing until I'd done everything else. At this point, I've been through the Land of the Dead, resurrected Califim and Alaria. I've cast a final spell so we can paint our way into the castle, and now I'll just hand over the rose.
Alexander holds out the rose, hoping that the bird will deliver it to Cosima.
And just like before, we get another CG.
The nightingale takes the rose and heads for the castle once more.
A white rose, how beautiful. It must be from Alexander. How I wish that I could see him with my own eyes, but Abdul will never allow it. He only risks capture by sending me these things, dear to my heart though they are. Fly elsewhere, my pretty friend. Do not endanger Prince Alexander again by taking tokens from his hand. Forgive me, Alexander, and forget me. I cannot return your love, for fear that I shall never leave this castle again.
Alexander waits in vain for Cosima's nightingale to return, but the bird does not. Could there be something wrong? Or does Cosima simply not welcome his attentions further?
And now we know why in the main playthrough the bird didn't come back. It wasn't a glitch, it was Cosima ordering her not to come back. But I assume that we only saw any of these events because we spoke to Jollo in the bookstore. And honestly, it's kind of crazy that you can miss that.
Of course, Prince Alexander.
The last thing that I need to do is find an appropriate lamp, and then we can break into the castle.
Good.
Once we've done our business with the boy ghost in the dungeon, we can go over to the right hand side and successfully enter Jollo's room. He will not kick us out immediately.
Alexander decides to find out what's on the other side of that door.
Prince Alexander, I can't believe it. How did you get into the castle?
Well, actually, it's a little hard to explain.
I bet. You run a terrible risk of being here, though. The castle is crawling with guard dogs, especially today. The Wazir will have your hide if he finds you.
I know that, Jalo. But Cosima is being married today. What greater risk is there than that?
Of course you're right. Young love. I forgot what heartburn it is. But what are you supposed to do about it?
I've got to try to see her. Maybe even stop the wedding.
Is that all? And here I thought you would try something dangerous. Oh.
Don't worry about me, friend. Just tell me, where is Cosima?
As far as I know, she's still in her bedroom upstairs. You'd never make it up there, though. The guard dogs are everywhere, and they're very loyal to the crown. Unfortunately, right now the crown means Al-Hazred. If we had proof of something truly afoul, the guard dogs might listen. As it is, they're your enemies, not his.
I understand. I've had no lack of enemies since I got here. In fact, you'd almost think I wasn't welcome.
And they say princes have no sense of humor. Well, I can see there's no putting you off. For Cosima's sake, I wish you luck. I'll be here if there's anything you need.
Thanks, Jalo.
And unfortunately, it's a new room, so I need to poke and prod.
The comfortable-looking bed in the corner is neatly arranged. It looks just large enough for Jollo's generous size. Jollo's bedroom is spacious, neat, and lush with dramatic colors. Like its resident, there's a melancholy sheen to its brightness. A large red rug with gold trim helps buffer the coldness of the marble floor underfoot. Jollo's door leads out into the basement hallway. There's a keyhole in the door. A chandelier hangs down from the tall ceiling. How on earth does Jollo reach that thing to light it? A plain trunk provides minimal storage for the bedroom. The wall above Jollo's desk sports a notice of a circus. It seems very old. Jollo uses a brass candelabra to illuminate his writing. A cozy little fire is ablaze in Jollo's fireplace. And burn a perfectly good hand? This is not the time for napping. Alexander couldn't possibly carry that heavy rug with him. Besides, Jollo might miss it. Alexander doesn't want to intrude on Jollo's privacy by looking through his trunk. Alexander can't reach the chandelier. The circus notice belongs to Jollo.
Please stop, Prince Alex. I'm really ticklish. Please stop.
Alexander isn't in need of a candelabra.
Is there anything else you can do that will help me in the castle?
I'm afraid not, Prince Alex. One will get past the guard dogs easier than two. Besides, I'm not much of a fighter. But if you intend to do as you've said, you should lose no time about it. The wedding will be starting before you know it.
Is there anything...
Something I didn't test was going upstairs, grabbing the letter, and then coming down and showing it to him. Basically, I just handed over the lamp immediately.
I've been thinking of what you said about swapping a replica for the genie's lamp. I got this lamp from the old lamp seller in town. Do you think it will pass?
Why, yes! It's an exact replica. That's amazing. How did you guess?
I suppose it was intuition.
I'll have to wait for the right moment, mind you. But I should be able to get close enough to swap this for the real thing, and none shall be the wiser. Now you shall see Jollo's skill.
I'm sure your hands are mightier than my sword, my clever friend.
Go ahead and do as you've planned, and let me worry about swapping the lamp. If I accomplish the trickery, I'll manage to get the lamp to you somehow. You never fear.
I have faith, Jollo. You are a true friend.
Oh, shucks. I'd do anything for the princess.
It turns out that he's an entirely decent person and he's going to try and swap the lamps for us. We can look through this keyhole. We couldn't do it from the other side, but we can do it here.
Alexander peers through the keyhole of Jollo's door. It looks like the hallway outside is clear. There are no guard dogs in sight.
Anyway, handing over the lamp is worth 3 points. The remainder of the playthrough is reasonably similar. The only two major changes are, firstly, at the wedding, Jollo is not there. And I'm a little bit surprised by that. I get the idea that your wedding has to go ahead, whether your court clown is present or not. But at the same time, I didn't think it would actually be able to proceed without him in the room. But we know where he is. He's up to no good. Along the way up, I did experiment a little bit, and I found a few ways we can die.
I'm afraid there's not much more to see in the throne room. There'll be more fireworks out here.
Wait! Shamir,
Changed your mind about chasing my master, eh? Good idea. You never would have won anyway, and it's so much easier just to kill you here.
Wait!
It's about time.
The second change is right here. And honestly, it's crazy that this happens directly in front of them, and they do nothing. But that's video games for you, I guess.
Razzle, dazzle, snap and snazzle.
Alexander, I did it. I swapped the lamps. Here, quick, take it.
Bless you, Jollo. I knew you could do it. Now get clear, friend.
No argument there, my lord. Good luck.
Jollo handing the lamp over is worth 1 point, and then we get 5 additional points for using the lamp on Shamir. That is a total of 13 points. I don't know where the 14th point is, but I definitely earned it on this playthrough.
Alexander has the genie's lamp. Alexander rubs the lamp, but nothing happens. The genie must be out at the moment. There is nobody home right now.
Shamir Shamazel, hold your spells. I am your master now. I order you to go back into your lamp.
How did you get my lamp? You thief! You've ruined me!
My lamp! Oh, thank Valhalla! I hated working for that loathsome creature. I already feel his nastiness leaving me. How I've longed for a master like you. I've got a new master. I've got a new master.
So you are a thief as well, Alexander. Stealing the lamp was very clever, I'll grant you that. But I am the master thief. Face my sword if you dare. The man left standing shall have the lamp.
So shall it be, Alhazred. I don't need the genie to deal with a coward like you.
We do not need the genie, but we definitely need Cosima with the dagger to stab him in the back, which, not cowardly because he didn't ask for it, but it's something we needed. At this point, everything basically plays out the same as the main game playthroughs. All of the dialogue is the same here. The wedding does change ever so slightly though, as we'll see in just a moment. It is still 1 week of courtship later.
Cosima and Alexander ask Captain Saladin to perform their wedding ceremony. Saladin is honored to do so.
Yeah, I played this game a very long time ago and I do not remember everyone turning up like this. And check out who's on the right hand side there. I'm guessing that Alexander put his new genie to work very quickly.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, take Princess Cosima to be your wife, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live.
I do.
And do you, Princess Cosima of the land of the Green Isles, take Prince Alexander to be your husband, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live.
I do.
Do you have a ring?
I have Alexander's royal insignia ring.
And yeah, from before, what happens if we give the ring to the pawnbroker and never get it back?
Who gives this bride?
I don't know, and it's not something I tested out, but I assume that it's a possibility.
We give our daughter's hand in wedlock.
Who will speak for the groom?
I will. Alexander's mother and I recognize his marriage to Princess Cosima with glad hearts, and sanction this union.
Then, Alexander and Cosima, I now pronounce you man and wife.
The family is here. I'm not sure if Graham should be wearing his adventurer's cap or not though. He's at a wedding. You'd think that the crown would be the right thing to wear here.
Congratulations, my children. I have an important question for you both. Please hear me.
Yes, sire?
Alexander, I welcome you into our family with open arms. I place trust in Alhazred because I so badly wanted a son and a husband for my beloved daughter. I was wrong. But you are true and good, Alexander.
You have proven yourself to all my people.
Thank you, sire.
Olaria and I have been through much. Even though we have returned to our kingdom, I do not think we are able to reign again. Will you two consider the crown? I know as king and queen, you can heal this small kingdom from all the damage that Alhazred has inflicted upon it.
Oh, Father.
Why, I'm honored. What do you think, Cosima?
I love my homeland, Alexander. I would be happy to stay and serve it all my days.
Father, I believe I'm needed here. Would you be very disappointed if...
Son, you must follow your destiny. I do believe the land of the Green Isles needs you. You'll be a magnificent king, though dearly missed in Daventry.
Then, I accept.
Oh, my boy, what a man you've become. And how I will miss you.
There's Valanice.
Don't worry, Mother. With Shamir's powers, we'll be able to visit often. I'm not about to forget my family.
Congratulations, Alexander. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And there's Rosella.
Dear sister.
She has a portrait now and a voice.
Oh, Alexander, I'm so glad. Between the return of my beloved parents and our new reign, you've made me so happy.
I'm glad I could make up for some of your suffering, my beautiful wife.
Congratulations, King Alexander. When we return home to Daventry, your crew will be glad to hear that their battle at sea was worthwhile in bringing forth a new monarch.
We were so worried when your men arrived home without you, son. I'm so thankful that you are safe and happy.
And I am as grateful that my crew did not pay for my driven heart.
You have only brought us all good fortune, sire. With Shamir saved and his power used for good, reuniting the islands will be far easier. He has already repaired the ferry. Your road will be easier now that the islands are no longer feuding. Already the wounds are starting to heal.
Yes, my love. Discovering the island's stolen treasures has done more to bring peace to this land than anything else. It is now...
I mean, all of the leaders are here and they're not trying to kill each other, so... Firstly, that's a very positive sign, but secondly, that sort of indicates that everything is healed already.
Now, let us celebrate our good fortune. The evil that has plagued this land is done, and a new reign begins. Long live King Alexander and Queen Cosima.
Long live King Alexander! Long live Queen Cosima! Long live the land of the Green Isles! Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
It's not quite a fireworks display, but the genie is doing his best. And yeah, I think I'll significantly lower the volume for this part because we heard it once. I don't think we need to hear it again. So, post-game thoughts. Let me get the two negatives out of the way first. Number one, I mentioned it throughout the entire playthrough, but I'll say it one last time. Dude looked at Cosima for 5 minutes, and that was it. And his behavior during the game, especially when he looked at that poster and went, "Oh my god, she's going to marry someone else," it's a little bit creepy. I get that this is a fairy tale and all, love at first sight, etc, etc. And the post-game playthrough does help contextualize some of those actions. And in particular, it mentions that Cosima is being coerced, although we could tell that very easily from the first cutscene, there was no problem there. But honestly, I think Alexander is just a bit of a creep, and I get it. Look, I get it. It's a fairy tale, it's fiction, it's totally fine. And Cosima saying the same thing immediately after the battle with the Vizier basically makes me think, yeah, you know what, that's weird and creepy as well, but you're in for it as well, so apparently it's okay. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with any of that. It's just very funny to me that Prince Alexander turned up, did these events over, I don't know, what would you say, 24, 48 hours, and then 1 week later, they are hitched. Something doesn't add up there. especially when you consider that the crew had been sailing away from Daventry towards the Green Isles for 3 months. I'm getting off track here, but there's only 2 explanations for that. The first is that maybe they were just going in circles around Daventry the entire time, but if you were navigating via the stars, then I don't know how you would do that. The second one is that Alexander has a genie and can now do whatever he likes. I like the second explanation a lot, but whatever. The second negative that I've got is the whole damsel in distress storyline. And I'm only bringing it up because we've seen it before. It was basically the primary plot of King's Quest II. Girl is being held in a tower against her will, and we need to go get her out. And if you really want to get technical about it, it also happened in King's Quest IV, where Rosella was locked up briefly. And you could also really get technical about it and say that Genesta was also bedridden in a tower, but whatever. It's just been done before, and I do feel like a more original setting may have helped. But look, I don't want to harp on about it because, in my opinion, and I've only played Police Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, Space Quest, King's Quest, a tiny bit of Gabriel Knight, Willy Beamish, possibly another Sierra game that I don't remember, but that's what I've played. I would argue that this game is peak Sierra. This is as good as it got. And that was playing the floppy version back in the day. The CD version of this, with the hand-drawn portraits, the voiceover, and the lip syncing, it is actually fantastic. And I normally don't shout out voice acting because it's just something that you expect these days. But this was done in 1993. And it was also done after King's Quest V. And I didn't say it back then either, but King's Quest V's voice acting was not good. It was just there, some of it was pretty awful, some of it was passable, but as a whole, it was not good. Just doing my editing here and watching it and listening to it all again, it's surprisingly well done for 1993 standards. And yeah, this game to me seems like the complete package. It's got some really difficult puzzles at the end, including one which I needed to look up. I'm still salty about that, and my memories of this game are sort of intact. I definitely remembered that in the castle, we needed to give the peppermint to the genie. That was well before I went in there. But everything else in the castle was a blur. I wasn't faking it on Video 7, I had no idea how to get past those guard dogs. And I had no memory of the basement area either. But I did have other memories going through the game, for example, the brick in the catacombs, the hole in the wall in the catacombs, and in particular the second path, finding the second ending. I had very strong memories of that because that was something I found by myself back in the day and I was kind of proud of it. The game does mention very clearly in the About section that there are 2 ways into the castle.
Freely between the islands. Even when it's over, it's not over. Have you gotten all 231 points? Good for you. Here's something you might not have done, though. There are 2 ways into the castle at the end of the game. If you got all the points, you probably did it the more difficult way. It's definitely worthwhile to restore your game back to an earlier point and try entering the castle another easier way. You'll see totally new parts of the castle, and the castle puzzles are quite different. Message clearing.
So it wasn't exactly blind, but it's something that I remembered very clearly before I started playing the game, just because it was something that I found by myself. And yeah, by getting all 231 points, we get a special message at the end. Congratulations on your excellent performance. If you want to go beyond the ultimate score, we recommend that you try the other, easier entrance to the castle. You can do so easily by restoring back to your points just before the Druids' rainstorm. Don't go back to see the Druids. Instead, head for the castle. New puzzle challenges await you. Indeed, go check out Video 7 and Video 9 if you want to see what happened there. It was a lot of frustration, let me assure you. It is definitely worth doing it the harder way because if you do so, you'll resurrect Casima's parents, and if you also manage to figure out Jollo and the genie, as per this post-game playthrough, you will get a much more fulfilling wedding scene at the end. I can't think of much else to say, to be honest. This game is great, it really is, and I really do think that this game represents Sierra at their absolute best. I'm not certain that it got any better than this. Not talking about King's Quest in particular, but just any of their productions. I don't know if it got any better than this before they died an unceremonious death. Great game. Absolutely great. Love this. Alright, next up is King's Quest VII, The Princeless Bride. I've never played it before. It's going to be a blind playthrough. I do have some thoughts on what the game is going to be based on its title, but I'll speculate on that in just a moment.